Hello, my name is Graham King. This is my very first YouTube video, so it's going to be a bit amateurish. I live on a boat and I've developed my own solar system, which is different to anything else you have seen, which I'm now going to share with you and see what feedback I get. So without further ado, let's crack on with the video. Starting at the beginning, I have 5 375 watt panels, making a total of 1,875 watts available for my solar system. So let's see how I control this. This is my finished control panel for my solar system. I have 5 solar, 5 charge controllers and 5 batteries. This is what I call Graham's battery management system, and why I come up with this idea is from lithium-ion batteries. You know, they have balancing boards, a battery management system, and without it, you know, a lithium-ion battery wouldn't last any longer than an AGM or flood acid battery. And it's this that gave me the idea. This is a balancing board out of an e-bike, and this is my balancing board from my battery bank. What I have is 5 solar panels, 5 charge controllers and 5 batteries. And the reason why it's 5 is because I can only fit 5 batteries in the battery bank, and they're 130 ampere hours each. We will start with the outside first, the control panel up here. I've utilized the loads from the charge controller going through this fuse box. You could use a breaker. They start at 3 amps. As you can see, I've got 2 breakers here, one from the battery and one from solar, so I can totally isolate the charge controller. And at the top of each controller I have a 12-volt socket output, a cigarette one for the pump, because that's 10 amps for a tyre inflator pump, so I could do my bicycle tyres and my truck tyres. That's then got a 10 amp fuse in line to this USB double out port, and that runs off one controller. I also got 2 temperature gauges. That one's the internal one, that one's the external one. I will do a separate video on why I've done that. This is my battery monitor, tells me everything I need to know about that. And of course I got another one over here. Unfortunately that broke, didn't work. It happens. So that's the controls at the top. Now we will go into the workings. As you can see, all the cables are in trunking. I don't like seeing cables. Unfortunately, I had to put these outside because number 5 monitor wouldn't reach the controller. It was too short, so I've had to compromise and do this. I would prefer to them to be hidden. But we'll open her up and I'll show you inside. Oh, I've also got a backlight here. You know, I can't see it's sunshine, but at night time if you need to look into this. But as you can see, there's 5 controllers, and there's the breakers down there. All the cables are hidden. Now, what's the advantages of doing this? Well, each individual battery gets charged up to 100% before it goes into float. And of course the advantages of this, if I have a system failure on any one of these controllers or solar panel or even the battery, I can isolate it and only lose 20% capacity. So that's obviously a direct advantage. The other advantage is when I ordered these 5, these 3 came. These 2, you can see, are different. They're a different batch. came in 2 weeks later because they were waiting for stock. So if I had one controller, even under warranty, and you had to send it back, but they didn't have one in stock, you could wait a couple of weeks, and it's a couple of weeks without any power. That isn't a problem with this system, and it works extremely well. It's been going for 18 months. I have not noticed any depreciation in the battery bank whatsoever. It's running the same today as it was a year ago. As you can see, I've used double pole breakers. Originally it was just the battery one, and I used these on the solar panel, and they are rubbish. I had fitted 5 and I lost 2 within the first year. 10 quid each, not worth the money. I would never recommend them. So that's one point. The disadvantages? Well, you could say costs, but it does produce 110 amps maximum. I've never seen that. The maximum I've seen coming out of here is 100 amps when you put the kettle on in the summer. That's nice. You know, it's 120 amp draw for the kettle, and I'm getting 100 amps from the solar, so it's only 20 from the battery. But it does work extremely well. I am very pleased, very happy with it. But of course, I still want to learn, you know, and hopefully the people who on Facebook that post your information about your setup can look at this, maybe even copy it, or come up with ideas or solutions. Well, there isn't really a solution, it works. And as they say, if it works, what's the point in fixing it? But you never know. I'm always willing to learn. So if anybody's got any comments or observations to make, then please share, and please subscribe and hit the bell so you can catch up on my future videos, because the next video is about these temperature gauges, this external one and this internal one, and the reasons why I've done it. But I got to edit a video I did about 3 years ago on the reason I came up with that idea. So there you go, that's my solar system. Very pleased with it. So I'll be very interested in anybody's comments on what you see. So until next time, TTFN, and have a nice day.